Love is Blind had a love triangle that didn't even make it out the pods that I really cared about for the first time in like 5 seasons. I'm RAYCH Rach Jackson. Let's get into season 10's first 6 episodes.
Welcome to Ray Jackson's YouTube channel. Make sure you hit subscribe. Yeah.
I wrote on Threads where I said, I am so nervous that everyone is going to give Kevin a pass for how it played out because I know how y'all do, Black women in general. That is someone who is not used to having more than one woman interested in him. And we also see this on Love is Blind often where we see a man or a woman who ain't never getting played, so you got on the show. Listen, they ain't getting played, so they got on the show. But with Kevin, here are two women. He doesn't know what they look like. They don't know what he looks like. But honestly, I feel like everybody knew they was all black. So we have this man who is like totally committed to Tyler. Yeah, Kia's his number 2, but Tyler's his number 1. So he goes to try to break up with Kia, and Kia kind of fights for her spot casually. And I liked how she was like nonchalant, but clearly like, I want you. I won't. WONT, right? But with Tyler, I'm glad that they kind of broke the fourth wall and they were like, it's day 6. Because mind you, Victor was engaged to that white woman by the end of episode 1. All right. Hey, shout out Christine. All right. They both got weed charges. They bonded. He locked that down by the end of the episode 1. So we're seeing other couples lock in. Tyler has a right to ask where she's going. Kevin gives a gift to Kia. So I would have thought, this is where Tyler lost me. Tyler, get behind me. I'm gonna fight for you in a second. But right now, get in front of me because you was tweaking. Once Tyler saw that Kevin gave Kia that gift, she could have bowed out. No. Tyler went back and was like, make me your girlfriend. Conversation didn't happen like that. In fact, she actually asked, what are we? Then he said, oh, you're my girlfriend. Anyone like that? People pleaser. Wishy-washy people pleaser. You didn't think about telling the other woman that you just gave a gift, that you made the other woman, players don't know how to play is how I took it. But then we get this crazy moment of Tyler breaking the fourth wall, looking directly at the camera, realizing Kevin's trying to backtrack with her. Both women at first were hand-holding him on choosing them, and then they both chose themselves. That moment was so powerful. When Tyler said, you know what, you're too wishy-washy for me, and if you don't decide by tonight, I'm leaving. I'm not going back to that hotel. Pause. Netflix keeping in her saying, I'm not going back to the hotel without knowing. Yeah, because they had gotten sued by having the people sleep in trailers. Season 1, they come far. You see how much food we see? They also got sued for not feeding them. Now we seeing food. Now we hearing hotels being dropped in conversation. Tyler said, I'm not going back to that hotel without knowing what we are. The next morning, he went in that pod expecting Tyler to be there. Why? Because the producers convinced her to go back the first time he thought he had a second chance. Whoever that producer was, curse upon your houses for convincing her to go back the first time. You were not tripping, Tyler. Okay? You were not tripping for leaving that first time. The problem that I had is when you saw he got another girl a gift, you were like, well, let me be your girlfriend. Whoa. All right, but that's okay. We're past that. We're past that. You left. Now, enter Kia. Oh, Kevin done got him a sob story, y'all. They done Kevin wrong. He done went back to the men's quarters and everybody was like, oh, shame on Tyler. Tyler left the experiment. She left the experiment. You dodged a bullet. You dodged a bullet. Uh-huh. And then when he went into that pod to get that second girl, what happened? He sat down wishy-washy, y'all. And Kia said, I choose me. I don't think you are even ready for this experiment. I was on my couch like, whoa! And if my neighbors weren't so loud, they might have complained themselves. He wove through those two ladies so crazy. And the fact that both of them left him by the end of the pods tickled me. I loved that love triangle. And then, I'm not gonna hold you, it all goes downhill from there. Oh my God, everybody else is so boring. So boring, in fact, that one of the couples doesn't even go to Cabo. Did y'all peep that Vic and Christine wasn't nowhere near? They weren't in the vacation where we see them, the other couples meet and stuff. We got a video footage of them, right? Mind you, I looked up like, why that happened. They said logistical. They thought it was 6 couples and they prepared for 6 couples. So the 7th one, they had to get up out of there. Amber and Jordan be having me shook, okay? Whenever someone gets on Love is Blind with a child, they haven't made it far. It's only been like 1 or 2 cases. Amber immediately in the first sentence brings up they're in the pod, she bring up like, yeah, I got a child, just so you know. Jordan, his thing was no kids. No kids. I don't want to talk to nobody who has kids. The only person he locked down was Amber, who was upfront about having a child. So now in the future, when it becomes an issue with filming or doing the show or even getting close to her because of the child, I'm gonna look at you crazy just like I was on Megan last season. All right, for sure. The next one is Ashley and Alex. Here's the thing. Alex, that's a man right there, first of all. Oh, man. Man, all right. Casting, you did your thing. Here's the thing. Alex really seems to hold on to his soccer. Like, I was a soccer player. I was a professional soccer player. Blonde, blue eyes, whatever. He keeps saying, I like dark features. The way he beelined to Brittany, when he pulled her aside for that Cabo chat, he kept saying Brittany's more my type. It just also seemed very convenient. How convenient that you're like, oh, what else is out there? We gonna get to Chris and Jessica next, but then obviously it's gonna bleed over to Brie. But Chris, love him some Jessica. They seem a match. Jessica, him in Cabo, looking cute. She looks across to the beach and she says, yeah, it's just hard, like, you know, enjoying life so much with all of the stuff in the world going on. And he said, like what? I know what you are. He's not, what's the Jaden Smith quote? Oh my God, can we just talk about the political state of the world? He not one of them. He had the exact opposite. Jessica asked him who he voted for. Brie being so like intense about, isn't it so weird that we're all just hanging out? Like we just got so deep in the pods. Does no one want to get deep? No, girl, we're in Mexico drinking. What's your issue? She's trying to make an excuse because she's seen Chris and was like, oh, something to that man versus Connor. It seemed like she's just picking fight after fight. Oh, Chris wouldn't have done it this way. Chris wouldn't have done that way. And then when she said to Chris, oh yeah, I tell Connor all the time, like, yeah, Chris wouldn't do it that way. Chris was mortified. Emma blew me since episode 1. I don't know, I'm still with you. Listen, I support women's rights and women's wrongs. Mike was Emma's second choice because she wanted Connor, but Connor already broke up with her because of Brie, so she went to find Mike. We gonna say it really bluntly. I'm tired of seeing the low racial self-esteem, and I was like, here we go again. If you're getting on a show, Love is Blind, obviously you're open to dating other races, but the clamming up, the nervousness of like saying their race behind the pods, that's kind of sad. Meanwhile, we are seeing continuous times where other couples bond over the shared race because of like the way they talk. Think of this whole intense love triangle between Kevin, Kia, and Tyler. I'm sure they didn't have a "Are you black?" conversation, but when they got to talking about love and basketball, clearly they bonded over that. Like it was just no clamming up. Oh, I can't tell you what my favorite movie is because it's Love and Basketball, and you might know I'm black. And speaking of low racial self-esteem, Devontae. Man name is Devontae. Clearly, you know, maybe half black. Never dated a woman of color. Said that with his chest. Here come Brittany. You ain't never been with a woman of color? Huh. You know what that reminded me of? Deepti and what's his name? Whatever. And they both were like, oh yeah, I've never dated someone Indian. I've only dated white people. And they thought they were going to work together. Get out of here. Low racial self-esteem. So with Devontae, then he goes, yeah, by the way, production pulled me aside and was like, oh, my grandfather died. Like, it's hard for me right now in life. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, are you going to continue with the experiment? Like, you know, do what you do. And he said, no, I'm going to stay. I said, this is very much connection with trauma. And in the future, this will be an excuse. And what he do in Cabo, where she's like, hey, like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, I didn't want to have sex the first night, but like, obviously we can hold hands. Like, you know, I'm always initiating all of this stuff. Woo, woo, woo. And he said, my grandfather just died. All right. Very similar to my assessment with Kevin, where I was just like, at the end of the day, don't get on this show. I also think Devontae should have left. Like, that is a major loss. But I'm telling you, man, like, I'm telling you, it's something about them cameras, bro. It's something about this show. It's something about that platform where people are like, in extenuating circumstances, I gotta stay on. And I hate that. Some couplings were clearly made for camera time. And I'm curious of how they're going to move forward. I like to wonder what was playing on Love is Blind as they were filming this. So we have a year. So they were on like season, what, 8, 7? Y'all, season 7 was the hidden babies. Tyler and Ashley, where Tyler deleted them Facebook photos of him having 3 children and still got casted. So I'm like, were people right before they got on their flights or, walked into the pods watching that season and was like, yo, I need to look better than that. I need to make all of these decisions. I don't know. I will be watching week by week. I'm not gonna hold you, group chat. I'm gonna watch it till the wheels fall off.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Yeah.